Okay, so I had to start over. The missus called, had a whole conversation. Praise the Lord. I am day 11 of no Suboxone. Um, yeah, addiction is a trap from the enemy. Simple. That's it. Every addiction, doesn't matter what addiction it is, that is a trap to keep you in the loop, not getting closer to God. But this is my testimony. So as a child, I was molested, um, which made me a very, very angry. Made me a very angry person. Well, child. Um, yeah, very, very angry. I jumped between households a lot. Um, my biological mom didn't give me the time that I needed, and a lot of it went to my stepfather and my stepbrothers. Um, and then it was also hard for me to accept the love because it just never seemed like it was there. And then addiction comes with that, and it was just a lot of chaos and also anger um, on their end. Um, so I have two stepbrothers. Well, I had two stepbrothers. They're both dead now. And I got two sisters. Um, and I have another mom, aunt, but mom. And really close to my sisters. Don't talk to them that often. Talk to them though. Um, my brother Tristan, he um, he died 2 years ago of an overdose. He was on dialysis pretty much like half his life. Um, so that was another reason why my mom kind of clung on to him, and because his mom wasn't nothing, and that took away from me. So I was, I guess envious, but it just got to a point where I didn't care, and being pushed like just pawned off in all these households, just kind of going everywhere. I never felt like I had a place, so I had a like identity thing where I just wanted to be accepted anywhere. Um, Getting older, 12, 13, started experimenting with drinking, smoking. Um, met my met my first girlfriend, and that was cool, you know. She's my fiance now. Praise the Lord. Beautiful person. I try not to say perfect. You're not supposed to idle people, but I tell you, she's created for me. Um, Dated for a little bit, broke up. It was kind of like kid stuff. She went off, lived life. Um, just from that point, after me and my fiance broke up as kids, I was just, every woman got abused after that until I was 18. And I mean, like, I was like a serial cheater. I ain't never took none. I don't believe in that at all. Um, but, I got a mouth, so that's what that is. But I was a serial cheater. Um, Always had multiple women, abusing women, physically, mentally, emotionally, all the things, But it was the women that were in my life weren't. Uh, I didn't feel like they were ever really there, and that's why it's so important to uh, have your house right, because your kids are going to see how you are, and if you're not right, why would you expect them to treat another person right? You know, and yeah, you can say whatever you want, and I mean biblically, where is the sitting down and reading the Bible with your kids and praying with your kids? Okay, yeah, you go to church, but what about all that other time? What I'm doing now is I'm breaking all the generational curses. Like I'm stopping addiction. I besides Suboxone, all I do is smoke. I have no addiction. I'm kind of lustful. I'll say that. You know, um, I got a beautiful. You know what I'm saying? I got a beautiful woman. That's rough. And on top of that, going like celibate for years. That's something different. But praise the Lord, for strength. Um, so I want to hurry up and get married, and have some kids. Well, one. Uh, but yeah, from 14 to 18, I was getting into everything. Um, and just trying to find who I was. Um, my brother, I want to say I was 17. My brother killed himself. Trigger warning. Yeah, he did that to himself, and it threw me into a spiral. I was just drinking. And, just smoking weed, and it had got to a it got to a point where I just isolated myself because I couldn't understand why I was so messed up. And I mean, with like the cheating and just everything, it just had it was I was at a breaking point. Um, and I'm literally one of the only people that I know that have done this, where I isolated myself from everybody. Like honestly, I was in my sister's room for maybe like 2 or 3 months alone. I would go get some weed or something and then come back like every few days. But for the most part, I was reprogramming my brain because I didn't want to be like that no more. I didn't want to cheat anymore. I didn't want to hurt people. I didn't want to be involved in things that could, you know, destroy me like on a different level. Um, I ended up bumping into one of my exes, and she said that she was moving to Alaska. She ended up going up there, and um, I can't remember what happened. Oh, my grandma died. My grandma died, and I really went off. I was doing the most, and yeah, I had to get out of Portland because I felt if I didn't leave Portland, I was gonna get killed. That's My face is flush, but I left there. I left Portland. Well, left here. Lived in Anchorage for like a year. My dad died. Well, one of the men that raised me, he died. Um, I came back to Portland. I was here for some months, and I had found this girl that I used to talk to. We never messed around or anything, but I had moved in with her like shortly after, and just relationship stuff, whatnot, whatnot. we end up breaking up. I leave, and like a week after that, she calls me, asks me to go out. That time we go out, I had a dream, and it was about my grandma, and that's a whole. I'm gonna have to make a whole another video about that. You know, that's a different circumstances. When you see dreams, when you have dreams of people that are passed on, those are demons. Those are not your loved ones. Don't fall for it. I fell for that for a long time. That's not your family. Those are, and you would think that it is your family and it makes you feel good, but it's not. It's not. Don't fall for that. Um, that night, we went out, and I a situation happened, and I ended up taking a man's life. Um, got picked up, all the jazz. Talked to the detectives. Um, I got out the next. Well, no, that same day because it was early in the morning. I got out that night at like 6. Um, went through that whole court process. Um, really, really fast, but you know, I was blessed, and the Lord kept me out of captivity. Uh, yeah, this is hard. Um, months after that, um, my baby mom got pregnant. The girl that I went out to the bars with, uh, she ended up being pregnant. So, you know, she broke up with me. Like once my daughter was like set, once we got past the scare zone, I didn't get to rub a belly or anything. And when she was giving birth, she called me. I went up there. I didn't get to cut the umbilical cord. She kicked me out of the room because the doctor started freaking out, and she started freaking out, and because my daughter's heart rate was dropping, and she was like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And I was like, don't worry about it. Like, don't trip. The Lord wouldn't put me through all this to take my baby, period. And I said that with 100% confidence. Um, she ended up being fine. Her best friend ended up cutting the umbilical cord. My daughter to this day does not have my last name yet. Uh, that'll happen hopefully soon. Let me speed up because my daughter's gonna get here. Um, a lot of ums. Sorry, guys. I want to say like a couple weeks after. We're not living together. My daughter ends up getting pneumonia, goes to the hospital. We're in the hospital. Get out. My baby mom drops my daughter off to me at like a month old. And I had my daughter until she was like 2.5. And that's when my baby mom started getting like involved in getting her on the weekends. And I was on child support the entire time, like even before my daughter was born. Like, I would work for 2 weeks and get my check, and it would be like $60 to $80. I'd get my check in front of everybody and cry because I didn't know I was going to take care of my baby. Mind you, it's kind of fresh off probation, so there's no like selling drugs. There's no making no extra money unless I'm like cleaning somebody's carpets or doing like an odd job or something. And so it was really rough, but my sister helped me out a lot. My mom helped me out a lot. Like, a lot of people helped me, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without them, period. Um, so my daughter ends up getting to be 5. Oh, that's one alarm. My daughter ends up getting to be 5. School's gonna start. My baby mom takes me to court. Losing court. Losing court. Doesn't matter that I have all of her doctor's notes and I'm on every one. Doesn't matter how I take her to the dentist. Doesn't. None of that matters. And it broke me. It broke me as a man. It broke me as a human. It broke me as everything. And I looked at my baby mom and I told her, you're gonna ruin my life. After that, I'm getting her on every 3 weekends, every month. But it's too much idle time. Like, I got on pills during the court process. No, it wasn't during the court process. It was after. And it slowly progressed, but it was too much idle time. When I would have my daughter, I didn't take pills when I had my daughter because I was content. I was full, you know, and living life. I'm in a very, very abusive relationship. She's physical. Oh, let me go back. So when I was 19, 20, yeah, 19, 20, when I moved to Alaska. When I moved up there, I said, I'm done. Like, I'm done with all that. I just want to have a family. So since that point, I never cheated at all. I never cheated. I never cheated on my baby mom. Baby mom feels like I did, but she cheated on me when I got in trouble. Um, you know, and I still mess with her after that. I had my baby, but because I understand people have weak points, I thought I was going to be gone forever too. Um, but from that point, I never cheated. But I feel like all the abuse and all the everything that I did when I got with that person, oh, it came back and bit me hard. It was tearing me up, and we're both drug addicts. One day I just wake up, and I'm feeling my first withdrawal, and I just wake up and I look around. I'm on a mattress on the floor, and I'm like, what am I doing? And I just prayed. I was like, Lord, I don't want to do this no more. I do not want to do this no more. The next day, I asked her if she wanted to stop doing drugs and start a family. And she was like, well, you can stop doing drugs. I'm not. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going. I had to fight with her with the gun and all kinds of stuff. Because she was suicidal and borderline personality disorder. If somebody has that and you know them, they need to stay on their medicine. If you are tampering and dealing with somebody that has that, please leave them alone. Please leave them alone. It is not worth it. It is not worth it. I promise you it's not. And yeah, so I left her and I moved in with one of my aunts. I got a job. I got on Suboxone. So this was maybe like 4 years ago, because I've been on Suboxone like truly like 3 years, because um, I was still trying to balance out like the whole stomach situation. And my Aunt Diane was, I don't care about none of y'all other aunts. Aunt Diane was my favorite. Period. Nothing else to say. Nothing. I'm not going back and forth. You can call me about it. You can talk to me about it in person. I don't care. Talk amongst each other. Yes, Aunt Diane was my favorite. I will never go back. Um, yeah, she was crazy. Yeah, she was a nut. She let everybody have it. But I tell you what, that's mine. That's mine right there. I was working at a gas station, and I would always go and see her because she had beat death. A lot of times. A lot of times, that was a strong lady. and they wanted to put her on dialysis. She used to be a nurse, and she was like, "I'll never go on dialysis." So she was just, she was just home. And when all of that, just that whole time, she was just, her kidneys were just failing and failing and failing. She was on hospice, and one day I got off work, and I went over there and I was like, "Auntie," I was like, "How's your day?" And everybody's just crying. Who we? My auntie was gone, and that night I was out of control. I had took a whole, I had took a blue and I drank like a fifth of Remy. I was just out of it. I got drove home. Oh, in that time I had got a 2-bedroom apartment for me and my daughter, and I remember making food, and I black out. I don't remember anything else. The only thing I remember is I woke up on the couch with all my lights on. And from that point, I never touched an opiate ever. I will never do that because I don't see how it doesn't scare people to not do it. And I'm kind of skipping through my life. Like there's a lot of stuff, but uh, but this is when it starts to get good. I find the Lord, and you know I don't want to do these drugs. I don't want to do drugs no more. I want my daughter back. Um, like really seeking the Lord. And I've slacked. I've slacked on my relationship with the Lord. Oh, my daughter's bus is here, and you know, well, at first I prayed for my I prayed for my I prayed for my mom to not be an alcoholic no more. Whew. The Lord is good, man. The Lord is good. I pray for my mom and my best friend to stop being alcoholics. And with me not doing drugs. I stopped doing drugs. My best friend stopped being an alcoholic. And my mom had dried out and had a seizure. And my dad had made it back to her. And now we're talking about my stepdad. But he's my dad. And they got her to the hospital and they said that she wouldn't come back. It took me a long time to go up there and see her because I remember when my dad got sober from alcohol, how bad he was. I didn't go see him at all because it, it terrified me. And I went up there and see my mom, and she gave me a hug and she was like, "I don't want to do this no more." She was like, "I'm done." And I left that hospital so happy because I knew she was done. Like my whole life, I didn't have my mom. My whole life. And for the Lord to answer that, man, I'm telling you, this is rough. For the Lord to answer that and for it to be so severe and for him to do it the way he did it, that was the only way he would have been able to do it. Um, so after that, I'm trying to think of some more blessings, man. Like I have an apartment that I don't have to worry about paying for. I work with my dad. Um, yeah, honestly, I love this job too. I mean, it's kind of agitating at times, but it fits me for the moment. Um, I was praying for my daughter. Just praying for her, praying for her, praying for her. 'Cause, I want my daughter back. And she was just constantly telling me, "Dad, I want to live with you again." Oh, here she is. Praise the Lord. And I just continue to pray for her. I got an attorney, finally. I'm still on child support. And now she's living with me. Hey, shortcake. Hey, can you close my door? Huh? Can you close my door? Sure. Thank you. Yeah, I got an emergency order because the house that she was living in was her mom's house was just not it, you know. And I mean, she's got some kinks, but it's not that bad. Well, it kind of is. It's a lot. It goes deep. You know, and then in the midst of me getting her, you know, I had prayed for a woman to love me for me and to love my daughter. Out of nowhere, out of nowhere, my fiance. I had a dream about my fiance, and then it was just a weird dream. She had came to me, or no, I was at Pioneer Square in Portland, downtown, and somebody had walked up to me that I haven't seen in a long time. It was like, "How you been?" Blah blah blah. Left. Then she had came up to me, gave me a hug. Was like, "How you been?" I was like, "I'm good, doing this, this, and this." She was dressed all, you know, like she was going to it like a business meeting or something. And she was like, "All right, well, I gotta go. I'll see you later." And I was like, "Oh man, bet." And I woke up and I was like, "Oh, that's a weird dream." So I'd say like a while after that. I don't know if it was a week or a month, but it was some time. She had reached out to me, and I just kind of, you know, because you know there's a couple things, and then we she had reached out again, and then we really started talking, and everything that she was saying. Oh, I had prayed after before that, and I had asked the Lord to make it very, very just in my face, like just put it in my face, so I won't mess her because I'm kind of hard headed, and I'm glad that she was so persistent, and you know, really, you know, trying. And the second time we talked, we just talked, and it was everything that I wanted. Every like going on hikes, wanting a farm, getting out of the city. People in their early 30s. I'm 33. She's 32. She's going to be 33 soon. Nobody our age is talking about that at all. And, you know, then she's talking about being a submissive woman and, you know, being a godly woman. And then on top of that, we're talking about the Lord and all these things. And it's, you know, it's almost not real. Like I was just quiet like the whole time on the phone just listening to her because I'm like, there's no way that she's real. There's no way she's talking like that, especially when we have, yeah. Oh, okay. Well, get stuff ready for practice. I love my daughter so much. She's such a butthead. What are you doing? Doing my testimony. Get out of here. But the Lord has blessed me so much. And you know, it's really hard to understand how loved and how favored we truly are. And a lot of it is just it's trauma. It's trauma and things of this world. And every household that I lived in as a kid, they all believed in God. But and I will say this, I don't feel that it was a correctly taught church. That's what it is. Because your first church and all that needs to be home. The, you know, when I got in trouble, right? My face and name was plastered everywhere, and the man that raised me, the one that passed away, that made me move back to Portland. He was a deacon and a minister. Great man, great man. Never complained about nothing, you know. And that's another thing, man. All the great men are dying off. Like that's what I'm trying to be. But you know, I feel like the house could have been more together. You gotta pray together. You gotta, you gotta check in with your kids, and that's what it be. That's what it be. Like, I asked my daughter like what's bothering her, and things like that. But I'm also a different person. People would probably call me weird, but that's why I didn't have a whole bunch of kids. And it's not because of child support. Granted, yeah, I was paying $500 a month, but if I wanted to have more kids, I would have had more kids. I don't knock people for having a whole bunch of kids, but I want to be able to give my kids the attention that they need, that they truly need. It doesn't matter about money. It doesn't. I promise you it doesn't. Because my daughter's whole first 5 years, I didn't have no money. I didn't have no money. Like, even when I was working two jobs, man. I was probably making 2,000 maybe a month. Like, that's not good. But she was happy from birth to court. She did 2 ballet classes, 2 swim classes, art class, gymnastics. I want to say something else. I always get confused because there were so many. And during court, she was in piano, and I had to take her out because her mom wouldn't take her. And going to now, I got her in basketball. I've only had her for, I want to say 7 months. Got my daughter in basketball. She loves it. But the thing is, people want to say, oh, well, this and that. There's no way. There's absolutely no way that I could have did this without the Lord. And that's like, I have like 4 ARs. I got like 6 pistols, a couple shotguns, all legal. All legal. I got a concealed weapons permit. I've been blessed in so many ways. And with just everything. We need to stop having a lack in ourselves. Don't lack yourself. And always seek the Lord. Always seek the Lord. He will never put you in a bind or anything like that. If you're in a bind, it is a lack of faith. Don't let the flesh speak. Don't let the flesh speak. Because when I think about all the situations and just everything that I've been in and been through, I look like poop right now. But yeah, it doesn't matter. All the stuff that I've been through, I'm all right. Like, and this is kind of like a jumping around testimony, like not straight to it. I'm kind of just talking. But I've been through so much stuff, and I am all right. I don't have depression. I don't hold anything against nobody. Like, I got my mom, I got my daughter back, I got a wife that loves me, and my kid, you know what I'm saying? And I got more kids. Like, we're planning on getting married, like, hopefully after court, and how that goes. Like, plan on moving. And you gotta want things in advance. You gotta thank the Lord for things in advance, because at this point with court, I don't know. I know I'm supposed to move. I know I'm supposed to go to Seattle or up there. I know I'm supposed to get out of Portland. And with me getting out of Portland, I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to do after that. But I know I'm not supposed to be here. I know I'm supposed to move and go get married and be up there. I'm not supposed to be here. Don't move to Portland. It is a dead city. Money's not good. And this is it's a very demonic city. Like, when you just look at everything around it and like all the people and everything, it's very demonic. Um, yeah, the Lord has changed my life in so many ways. I can't even really, really explain all the things, because I know I missed so much stuff in my life. But being molested, being a thief, uh, being a serial cheater, being an abuser, uh, being a murderer, um, all the things. Give your life to the Lord. Since being with my fiance, I've been baptized, and life is completely different. Granted, it does get hard, because the devil does not like that at all. The devil don't like it. He gonna test you. He gonna test you, but with the Lord, I promise you, it'll be fine. And that's like, I'll probably make other videos to like really break things down, like the things that I used to do. But yeah, praise the Lord.